In the vast reaches of the galaxy, there existed a hierarchy of civilizations that wielded unimaginable power. At the pinnacle of this hierarchy was the Galactic Coalition, a conglomerate of elite alien species that had long controlled both galactic politics and technology. These species had perfected energy-based weaponry, plasma cannons, and impenetrable force fields, making them nearly invincible in combat. Their technology was sleek, efficient, and far beyond what most other species could comprehend. To the Coalition, their weapons symbolized the pinnacle of progress, a testament to their superiority over all other races. They considered themselves the guardians of civilization, continuously evolving and advancing their technological prowess. They exclusively relied on energy weapons, which were cleaner, faster, and more powerful than the crude, projectile-based weapons of the past. In their view, species that had yet to adopt such advanced technology were seen as backward and primitive. Among these lesser races were humans, a young species that had only recently joined the galactic community. Humanity's history with ballistic weapons and gunpowder was, to the Coalition, something of a joke, a relic of a bygone era that had no place in modern warfare. To the Galactic Coalition, humans posed no real threat. While they had demonstrated competence in space travel and minor technological feats, they were not viewed as equals. In fact, the Coalition barely acknowledged their presence in the grand scheme of galactic affairs. When the Coalition held military demonstrations, showcasing the latest advancements from each species, humanity was often invited as a formality, a gesture of inclusion, but no one expected anything significant from them. To the elite members of the Coalition, humans were quaint, with their slow technological progress and reliance on outdated weaponry. The Galactic Coalition decided to host another such demonstration, a grand event where each member species would unveil their most cutting-edge weaponry. This event was more than just a showcase. It was a way for the Coalition to reaffirm its dominance over other species by proving that their technology was unmatched. Every race prepared their most advanced weapons, from plasma rifles that could melt through starship hulls, to energy cannons capable of decimating entire fleets, and sophisticated force fields that could repel any known attack. Among the attendees was a small contingent of human military personnel who arrived with little fanfare. Their presence was largely symbolic, as no one expected them to contribute anything noteworthy. The aliens whispered amongst themselves, amused by the thought of what the humans might present. Most assumed that humans would showcase a minor innovation, perhaps a knockoff energy weapon, but nothing worthy of serious attention. However, the human delegation carried something unexpected. Instead of futuristic weapons or technological marvels, they arrived with a relic, a centuries-old ballistic rifle, designed to fire physical projectiles using gunpowder. It was a simple weapon, a stark contrast to the sleek energy weapons the aliens had brought. When the humans unveiled the rifle, the alien audience erupted in laughter and mockery. They couldn't believe humans had brought such an antiquated piece of technology to a demonstration meant to highlight the future of warfare. What do they plan to do with that? One alien commander sneered. Throw stones at us next. The sight of the ballistic rifle was incomprehensible to the elite alien species. In a galaxy where energy-based weapons had rendered physical projectiles obsolete, the notion of using such a primitive weapon was laughable. Plasma rifles could vaporize targets instantly, energy cannons could obliterate entire fleets, and force fields could deflect any attack. The idea that a projectile weapon could pose any threat seemed absurd. His warships carried the most advanced energy cannons in the galaxy, and his troops were equipped with personal shields that could withstand even the fiercest plasma bursts. Alien leaders from several powerful species watched with amusement as the humans prepared to demonstrate their relic. Among them was General Threx of the Zenth, whose species was renowned for their mastery of plasma technology. He watched the humans with a condescending smirk, already convinced their demonstration would be an embarrassment. Another observer, Commander V. Rick of the Arctan Confederacy, leaned over to his colleague and whispered, "Perhaps they think they're in a museum, showing off some historical artifact. Why else would they bring such a useless weapon?" Even the event's announcer struggled to suppress his amusement as he introduced the human delegation and their so-called weapon. He barely managed to stifle a laugh as he explained that the humans would be using a projectile rifle, a weapon that hadn't been relevant for centuries. The expectation was clear: the humans would fail spectacularly, and their demonstration would be quickly forgotten. As the humans readied themselves, Captain Reynolds, the leader of the human delegation, remained calm. He was fully aware of the alien audience's derision, but it didn't faze him. He carefully handled the rifle, loading it with a single bullet, while the surrounding aliens watched, shaking their heads in disbelief. "This will be over before it even starts," one alien observer chuckled. Captain Reynolds ignored the jeers and took aim at the first target, a drone equipped with one of the Coalition's most advanced energy shields. The drone hovered in the air, surrounded by a shimmering barrier that was said to be impervious to all known forms of attack. Plasma rounds, energy blasts, and even high-yield explosives had failed to penetrate these shields in previous demonstrations. There was no way, the aliens thought, that a single bullet fired from a primitive human rifle could even scratch it. The alien commanders leaned back, ready to enjoy the spectacle of failure. They expected the bullet to either bounce off harmlessly or disintegrate before reaching the shield. But as Captain Reynolds pulled the trigger, the rifle fired with a sharp crack that echoed across the demonstration grounds. The sound was distinct and startling. Unlike the hum of energy weapons the aliens were accustomed to, the projectile flew with surprising speed, aimed squarely at the target. In that moment, the smirks and laughter began to fade. Amusement gave way to confusion, and for the first time, the aliens watched with a hint of seriousness. The humans, undeterred by the laughter and mocking whispers, calmly set up their demonstration. Captain Reynolds, a seasoned soldier, moved with precision, handling the ancient rifle with care. Despite its outdated appearance, the humans remained focused, knowing the true capabilities of their weapon, even if no one else did. The Galactic Coalition had provided a test environment designed specifically for such demonstrations, where alien factions could show off their latest technological advancements. Each test was conducted against state-of-the-art energy shields, which were believed to be impervious to all known forms of attack. These shields were regarded as the pinnacle of defensive technology, capable of withstanding even the most powerful plasma and energy blasts. They had been tested in countless battles and had never been breached. To the aliens, these shields symbolized their technological superiority. An alien announcer standing near the test area explained the setup to the crowd, his voice filled with pride and amusement as he described the shields that would be tested against the human weapon. These energy shields, he boasted, are the most advanced in the galaxy. No known weapon, no matter how powerful, has ever penetrated them. What you're about to witness will demonstrate the vast technological gap between the Coalition's species and our human guests. The alien crowd laughed in agreement, confident the humans would soon face embarrassment. After all, how could a simple projectile, a mere bullet, possibly break through shields that had resisted plasma cannons and energy beams for decades? Captain Reynolds, unfazed by the ongoing mockery, calmly loaded the ballistic rifle. Each movement was deliberate, as if he were handling a weapon of immense value. The aliens continued to laugh, expecting nothing but failure. Their amusement was palpable as Reynolds raised the rifle to his shoulder and took aim at the first target. The target, a hovering drone equipped with a shimmering energy shield, was designed to showcase the latest in alien defense technology. It floated effortlessly, its shield glowing with an aura of invincibility. To the aliens, it seemed impossible that this primitive human weapon could cause any harm. With the rifle aimed and steady, Captain Reynolds pulled the trigger. The rifle fired with a sharp crack, the sound echoing through the grounds. The noise startled many in the alien audience, who were accustomed to the silent hum of energy weapons. The projectile shot through the air with incredible speed, far faster than the alien observers had anticipated. As the bullet sped toward the drone, the aliens watched in growing curiosity. They fully expected the projectile to bounce off or disintegrate before making contact. After all, no weapon had ever breached these shields. But something unexpected happened. Instead of being repelled, the bullet phased directly through the energy shield. For a brief moment, the shield flickered, its bright aura dimming as though disrupted by an invisible force. The audience gasped, stunned into silence. A split second later, the drone, once protected by what was thought to be an impenetrable barrier, was disabled. It dropped to the ground with a dull thud, completely non-functional. The aliens were in disbelief. For several moments, no one spoke, unable to process what had just occurred. Slowly, murmurs began to spread through the crowd. Alien commanders exchanged uneasy glances, struggling to rationalize the scene before them. Some speculated that the shield must have malfunctioned at the precise moment of impact, but deep down, they knew something more was at play. The announcer, whose confidence had evaporated, cleared his throat awkwardly. He tried to explain the shield's failure, but his voice betrayed his unease. The smug certainty that had defined the aliens was beginning to crack. Before confusion could spread further, the human delegation revealed the truth. The ballistic rifle was far more than a relic of humanity's past. It had been enhanced with cutting-edge technology specifically designed to counter modern defenses. Each bullet was embedded with advanced nanotechnology, allowing it to adapt in real time, detecting weaknesses in energy shields and bypassing them with precision. The revelation hit the aliens like a tidal wave. Their expressions shifted from confusion to alarm as they realized what the humans had done. They had taken a seemingly simple weapon and transformed it into something far more dangerous. The ballistic rifle, once mocked, was now revealed to be a weapon capable of penetrating their most advanced defenses. The aliens, who had long believed energy weapons were the pinnacle of military technology, now faced the reality that humanity had developed something they couldn't defend against. The laughter that had filled the grounds moments ago had vanished, replaced by growing concern. If the humans had developed such a weapon without anyone noticing, what else might they be hiding? Captain Reynolds lowered the rifle, his expression unchanged. He had known this moment was coming. The demonstration had gone exactly as planned, and now the Galactic Coalition was left to grapple with the implications. The smug confidence that had once defined them was now replaced by uncertainty. The aliens were no longer laughing. They had underestimated humanity, and now they knew humans were not the primitive race they had once believed. The rifle had proven that humanity could not only compete with the Coalition's technological advances, but could surpass them. The demonstration had revealed a new truth: in the right hands, even an ancient weapon could be a game-changer. As Captain Reynolds fired another shot, the once confident alien commanders began to shift in their seats. Each successive shot was more devastating than the last. What had initially been seen as a fluke was proving to be something far worse. Panic spread among the ranks of alien commanders, technicians, and military strategists observing the demonstration. More drones, each equipped with more sophisticated shields, were deployed to test the human weapon. These drones were designed to be impenetrable, utilizing energy shielding that had never failed in battle. Yet, shot after shot, Captain Reynolds calmly aimed, fired, and disabled each drone with deadly accuracy. The ballistic rounds cut through the shields as if they didn't exist. The shimmering force fields that had once symbolized the Coalition's pride flickered and failed the moment the bullets hit. The aliens struggled to comprehend what they were witnessing. They scrambled to analyze the data, desperate to understand how a weapon so simple could tear through their defenses so effortlessly. Technicians ran diagnostics and scanned for anomalies but found nothing to explain how the human bullets were bypassing their technology. Their scientific minds, honed by centuries of advancement, couldn't grasp the mechanics behind the ancient gun. Everything they knew, everything they trusted, was being undone in mere moments. Meanwhile, Captain Reynolds remained calm, his movements precise. He loaded and fired the rifle with ease, unaffected by the chaos around him. Each shot found its mark, and each shot dismantled the alien's sense of superiority. The simplicity of the weapon contrasted sharply with its devastating effect. Reynolds fired again, and another shielded drone crashed to the ground, its systems disabled. By now, the aliens were no longer whispering. They openly showed signs of panic. Alien commanders barked orders, demanding more advanced targets. Some considered pulling their drones from the demonstration to avoid further humiliation, but it was too late. The smugness had vanished, replaced by furrowed brows and clenched fists. Every shot from the human rifle not only disabled their machines but also dismantled their pride. In desperation, several alien factions brought out their most advanced drones, equipped with multi-layered shields enhanced by adaptive technologies. The commanders boasted these drones were impervious to any weapon. The crowd watched with bated breath as Captain Reynolds loaded the rifle again. Alien commanders hoped these enhanced drones would finally stop the human weapon, but as soon as the rifle fired, their hopes were dashed. The bullets, guided by nanotechnology, continued to adapt mid-flight, slipping through the shields as if they weren't there. The drones fell, leaving the aliens with nothing to show for their efforts. Each alien faction had its own theory about how to counter the human weapon. Some believed the shields needed more power, others thought they should shift the shield's frequency. But no matter what modifications were made, nothing worked. The human bullets seemed to evolve with each shot, bypassing every new defense. The alien commanders who had mocked humanity were now discussing whether to call off the demonstration to avoid further embarrassment. It was no longer just about the demonstration. The aliens realized that the technology behind the human weapon was unlike anything they had seen. They had always believed energy weapons were the pinnacle of military technology, but this ballistic rifle had revealed a truth they weren't prepared for. Their energy shields, which had protected them for centuries, were now obsolete. The commanders, who had dismissed humanity as inferior, were now questioning everything. How could we have missed this? One commander asked, frustration evident in his voice. They were supposed to be primitive, clinging to outdated technologies, yet they've surpassed us in ways we didn't consider. Another commander shook his head, disbelief clear in his eyes. It's obvious we underestimated them. The question now is, what else are they hiding? If they've mastered this level of nanotechnology, what other weapons do they have that we know nothing about? The room fell into silence as the weight of that question hung in the air. If humans had kept this technological leap a secret, what other advancements might they possess? The demonstration proved that humanity's simplicity was deceptive, a facade that had lulled the rest of the galaxy into a false sense of superiority. Some alien factions expressed immediate concern. Commanders discussed the risks of further underestimating humanity. They could no longer dismiss humans as technologically backward. Their quiet advancement posed a serious threat to the established order. The coalition now had to reconsider its assumptions about humans. But while some worried about potential conflict, others saw a different path. One commander suggested reaching out to humanity for alliances. We can't afford to be on the wrong side of their advancements. We should open diplomatic channels, offer trade agreements, or even military pacts. Their technology could be useful to us, and aligning with them might prevent future conflict. This suggestion garnered murmurs of agreement. It was no longer a question of whether humanity was a force to reckon with. They clearly were. The only decision was how to respond. Should the coalition seek to ally with humans or control the potential threat they posed? Either way, the balance of power in the galaxy had irrevocably shifted. Meanwhile, Captain Reynolds, having completed the demonstration, led the human delegation back to their ship with the same calm demeanor he had maintained throughout the event. On the surface, he appeared unaffected by the alien reaction, his expression composed. But beneath that exterior, there was a quiet satisfaction. The mission had gone exactly as planned, and the aliens now knew humanity was not to be trifled with. As they walked, one human officer glanced at Reynolds. "I think we made our point, Captain," the officer remarked, a hint of pride in his voice. Reynolds gave a small nod. "We've shown them what they needed to see," he said, his tone steady but filled with satisfaction. The Galactic Coalition now understood the true extent of human ingenuity. The galaxy knows we're not a species to dismiss anymore. Back aboard their ship, the human delegation debriefed, discussing the broader implications of the demonstration. It was clear they had successfully shifted the galaxy's perception of humanity. Once seen as primitive, humanity now commanded respect. The aliens had learned the hard way that humanity, far from being left behind, had quietly advanced their technology to a point where they could surpass the most powerful civilizations in the coalition. "Do you think they'll come looking for more?" one officer asked. "They will," Reynolds replied matter-of-factly, "but they won't be laughing this time." The demonstration had redefined humanity's place in the galaxy. No longer the underdogs, humans were now equals, or perhaps something more dangerous. The message was clear: humans were adaptable, innovative, and capable of creating weapons that operated on an entirely different level than the galaxy's energy-based technologies. In the days and weeks following the event, the Galactic Coalition began rethinking its military strategies. Alien factions that had long believed in the superiority of energy weapons and force fields now had to contend with the reality that projectile-based technology, when combined with nanotechnology, could render their defenses useless. Coalition leaders held closed-door meetings to discuss how best to adapt to this new threat. At the same time, diplomatic channels began to open. Several alien factions quietly reached out to humanity, seeking alliances and trade deals to gain access to their technology. The coalition, once dismissive of human advancements, was now eager to understand the full scope of human innovation. The demonstration of the ancient human rifle had served as a wake-up call to the galaxy. Humanity, once seen as technologically backward, had proven that they were far more advanced and far more dangerous than anyone had anticipated. The balance of power, long dominated by the Galactic Coalition, had shifted. In the aftermath, humanity stood tall, no longer ridiculed or underestimated. They were now recognized for their innovation, resilience, and tactical brilliance. The coalition, once the dominant force, had to acknowledge that humanity had caught up and perhaps even surpassed them. As the story concluded, humanity stood proud, fully aware of the shift in power. The galaxy, once unified in mocking human technology, now looked to Earth with a mix of respect and fear. Humans, with their quiet confidence and relentless drive for innovation, had secured their place among the stars. The message was clear: underestimate humanity at your own peril.